I'm using my museum pen. Yes. I don't like to get out of it. We can just keep it outside. We can rub this one. Do you want to hand me that? And I'll have Gabby.
Anybody need cheese?
Good for now.
I gotta.
I can imagine in the next couple of years.
I've got pens to work.
Do you need a highlighter? What do you need? Do you want to pass this down? Yeah.
Oh, I already turned mine in.
Welcome.
Do I have to re-sign it?
No, if you already turned yours in, you don't.
Okay.
Can you give it to me also?
I,
Yeah, I don't.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can you take the roll call, please? Yes. Councilwoman Crane? Here. Councilman Pallara?
here.
Councilwoman Dyson? Here. Councilwoman Constantina? Here. Supervisor Schmidt? We stand for a pledge and a moment of silence, please. Thank you. We'll call petitioners to the floor now. Karen Altamari. You may need to turn the microphone on. Oh, that's right button.
Can you all hear me? Good. Oh, I forgot my glasses. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name's Karen Altamari, and I'm the founder of the SF League Flag Football and Cheerleading Program. We're proudly entering our third season serving the youth of Seneca County. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to the Seneca Falls Town Board for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight and for your support of the program since the very beginning. My son, Eric Urquhart, and I run the program together. Eric manages all the graphic designs, including jerseys, programs, and flyers, and works directly with the local businesses to incorporate their logos. He also oversees the sports operations of the league, and then I get the administrative side. In early 2024, I met with Missy Jones from the rec center to present my idea to start the football program, and she said that she would encourage us if we went to flag football, and she offered her support. After presenting to the board in 2024, Bruce and Lisa Bonifiglia took the time to speak with me about my vision. Bruce encouraged me to make it big and connected me with Judy Wenzel from the Bonifiglia Foundation. Judy was incredibly supportive throughout the process, and the foundation's $5,000 donation helped shape the league into what it is today. Because of that support, we were able to move beyond basic t-shirts and create a high-quality jersey for both players and cheerleaders. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Bruce, Lisa, Judy, Missy, and Justin. Your encouragement, guidance, and support are the reason why I'm here today. For season 1, we ended with a total of 89 children. Season 2, we ended up with 105 children. Over the past 2 seasons, we've also provided both a beginning of the season program and an end of season program at no cost to the families in the community. These are distributed at our first and final games, and Eric designs and produces them entirely. Thanks to the generosity of the Seneca Falls Police Benevolent Association, the Seneca County Sheriff's Department, Wilton Press, Thurston Services, Dorrance Funeral Home, Best Buy Auto Sales, Seneca Meadows, P. Rogers from Uppercuts, and many other local businesses and community members, we've been able to provide jerseys and bags to all the participants, polos and hats to our coaches and referees at no cost to them. In Season 2, we were able to include the North Seneca Ambulance and the Seneca Falls Fire Department because we would like to recognize and thank our first responders and their families for their service and commitment to our community. North Seneca did provide CPR classes to our coaches at no cost. We're also grateful for the continued support of Minders Academy Athletic Director Kevin and the Seneca Falls School Business Office. I would also like to give a special thank you to my son Eric and Bobby Plate from B/E Design. Their work providing high-quality jerseys, polos, and players items has truly elevated the experience for our kids and made them feel a part of something special. Our mission has always been to provide an affordable, high-quality youth program for the children of Seneca County. We are committed to keeping costs low for families while partnering with local businesses to build something meaningful for our community without placing a heavy financial burden on anyone. We have opened our registration for Season 3. Our head cheerleading coach, Madison Gannott, already hosted a 3-day cheer camp this April. We have our fall camp coming up, and then we have our season starting August 24th with our first game September 12th. I'd like to close with a heartfelt thank you to my son Eric, my husband Dan, and my daughter Serena for their constant support and patience. And a very special thank you to my parents and children. Their encouragement and hugs and kind words mean everything to me. I invite everybody to visit our Facebook page, SF League 2024. You can see our journey from the very beginning through the start of Season 3. I did put flyers out there with my contact information if anybody wanted to discuss or get any information. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Nicole Tedeschi.
June is Pride Month, and it was established in 1999 by President Bill Clinton. It is recognized as a federal level holiday and commemorate the June 1969 Stonewall riots. On behalf of myself, my feminist group FLX Roar, and the LGBTQIA community, we would like to support and recognize Pride Month by displaying either pride ribbons or flags on the light poles throughout the Seneca Falls Downtown Business District for the month of June. We are willing to place them on each light pole from Monday, June 1st, and remove them on Wednesday, July 1st. Now more than ever, it is imperative that we support our LGBTQIA community in the current volatile climate. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Jake? Sure.
You guys see the screen okay, everybody? Awesome. I appreciate you guys having me tonight. My name is Jake, and I cover Axon Law Enforcement for all New York. In this case, I'm here with Chief Snyder at Seneca Falls PD. If you guys have any questions at all, just let me know as I'm speaking. I talk kind of fast and I talk a lot, so just tell me to shut up if you have any questions in the meantime. Okay. Currently, where Seneca Falls PD stands is they have 3 separate contracts comprising everything they have for Axon right now. They have body cameras, they have in-car cameras, they have Taser 10s, and virtual reality systems. These are all on fragmented renewal cycles, which makes long-term budgeting a little bit difficult, and all these systems need each other to work, so having some end before others is a bit of an issue at the PD in terms of how their tech suite is working from all their systems at Axon. Because of this, over the last year, Chief Snyder and Axon have been working on a plan to do 3 things. One is to consolidate everything they have onto one set contract. The second is to modernize everything going forward into the future for the PD. And the third is to save the town millions of dollars over the next decade on law enforcement technology through Axon ecosystems. How are we going to do this, you might ask? So currently, the PD has a bunch of already existing Axon hardware. Like I mentioned, they have tasers and body cameras. They have VR and in-car cameras as well, too. We're going to merge all of these current contracts into a new rewritten deal. This isn't net new hardware or a new purchase. This is just continuing everything they currently have, merging it together, locking in current pricing from 2026 all the way until 2036. That's the consolidation part of this plan. In terms of modernizing, the PD is looking at installing 2 net new smart interview rooms. The goal of this is to help modernize completely the investigative strategy of the PD, and we're going to be backing them throughout the entire 10-year plans to update these interview rooms, install them, modify them as needed over the course of time. The biggest one here is something called the Axon AI plan that the PD is also getting. This is a suite of AI software. There's like 24 different features in this. We're always making more. If the PD jumps into this Axon AI suite, they're going to get anything and everything we release over the course of the next 10 years. Some highlights of this are automatic translation. So if an officer is speaking to anybody, it's going to automatically translate their language into that person's, then vice versa back to them in real time. The goal of that is to break any language gap that you guys have here in Seneca Falls so the PD can talk to anybody, not just the languages they speak at the police department. Another major one up here for the AI suite is something called Draft One. This is an automatic report writer. The body camera is always on at the PD. That's part of their policy. Therefore, it's always taking in everything that's said via transcription. We can use that. We can help assist greatly write the reports for all the police officers after that call is over to get them back in the field and not have them sitting there at their desk writing reports for every single call. I'll get into that in a second here. That's going to be a major one up for this PD in particular. But that's going to give them, all in all, one contract vehicle for everything, exact pricing, flat rate until 2036, and just budget predictability, whereas right now they have 3 contracts ending over the next 3 years. They'll have to renew anyways. So this is just some quick math. I don't want to go into like a math class for you guys and bore you with a bunch of numbers over here. But right now, based on minimum rates, this is based on $36 per hour, the current report writing process at the police department, Axon aside, the town is looking to spend right now $2.76 million for report writing over the next 10 years for the PD, currently at a minimum. That's Axon and our company aside. What Draft One does, this is our automatic report writer. The goal of Draft One is to reduce that time by up to 85%. Over the course of 10 years, we can, on projections, save up to $2.35 million of your taxpayer money that goes directly to report writing and put that instead to getting officers back in the field, and obviously have reports be a lot more consistent on the back end at the end of the day for admin review. This doesn't obviously factor in overtime, hazard pay, higher value positions, so on and so forth. Any questions at all from the board so far? I know I'm kind of running through this.
No, I just did ask him though, something I wanted to share because Dawn and I were talking about it yesterday is in hopes that we were going to be able to, we have a translator coming into court now.
Yeah.
That maybe that would be able to be figured out with.
So that's based on county to county. Sometimes
Yeah,
counties
that's
like
what
do
you said,
mandate
it's gonna
like
check
when
in,
you.
but I wanted
Yeah.
that.
Westchester County is doing that though. So right now in their courts, they have our body cameras in there and it's automatically translating in real time for everyone and there isn't a live person. I would just make sure that the DA is okay with it in your county, but that could be a major time saver as well too. It depends. So right now, our AI system for the body cameras is better than having a live person in tests. Now it's a newer system, so I still have someone live there, to be honest with you, for the first year of rollout to kind of phase it in, like crawl, walk, run with it. But right now it's really, really successful. So I would have someone there and trial it for a year, then maybe switch off.
So that's
Westchester,
Westchester?
correct, yeah. Yeah, completely. So right now, just flat rate pricing. I don't want to like sugarcoat the pricing or hide any numbers from anybody. The overall price of this proposal is $1.16 million over the course of 10 years. Because BPD will be hopping on to the AI solution as a early adopter, we're cutting them a $161,000 discount, dropping things to $1 million flat over 10 years. They're going to be joining Cayuga Heights, East Fishkill PD, City of Rye PD, and a couple others that are also on the early adopter program for this system. And by signing a 10-year plan, they're locking in another additional $322,000 in savings versus doing 2 separate 5-year programs and renewing with inflation in 5 years down the road. This is just a comparison side by side of what 2 5-year terms look like on the right versus just one 10-year plan on the left for current pricing with price locked over 10 years. So the early adopter program ends at the end of June. This isn't saying we need $1 million from you in the end of June. It's basically just saying that you have to commit to wanting to do this program. We can work out finances however you guys would like. And this is all payable over 10 years as well too. So by the end of the 10 years, it would be $1 million flat. But we would need some kind of board approval or agreement on that by the end of June 2026. Any questions from anybody? That's all I got, basically. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Andrew Olden. I am the Executive Director at the Seneca Falls Museum and Tourism Center. We are home to the Museum of Waterways and Industry. We're located right downtown in the heart of Seneca Falls at 89 Fall Street. Our facility has 3 floors, and I want to first tell you about our reopening here on April 29th. Then I want to speak briefly about our speaker series, our Music in the Park concert series, and then a fundraiser we have here coming up at the end of the month. Overall, we've got a lot of great things going on, so please come by and see us. The canal opens next week, or it's supposed to. And with that in mind, we will go to 7 days a week, and that means our boater amenities facility will be open on the lowest level. So we have the publicly accessible restrooms in our building. That has been entirely renovated. If you didn't get a chance to come through on the reopening, I know it was a bit of a rainy day, but a lot of that was made happen by grant funding, and a big part of that too was being able to offer free Wi-Fi from bridge to bridge along the harbor now. So if you're out in People's Park, just going for a stroll and need to connect to Wi-Fi, we've got it for you there free now. So our reopening was on April 29th. It was a great event. Our facility has been closed for the last 50 weeks, but who's counting? And with that being said, this was a wonderful opportunity to just kind of reestablish ourselves in the community. Our DRI funding rebuilt the front of our building, so you might have noticed that on Fall Street. It's got the red, blue, and green frontage now. It also added an office and a conference room to the second floor, replaced some cracked windows with broken seals, and then the most exciting part was it added auto flush toilets in that boater amenities area I was just talking about. But as far as the event, it had great attendance. We had over 100 people there. Several people in this room attended, so I appreciate that. And with that being said, this was an opportunity again to reestablish ourselves in the community after such a long closure. There was a representative from the governor's office there. One of our state representatives had sent an individual, and then one of our state senators sent somebody to attend as well. So on top of that, it was hosted by the Seneca County Chamber of Commerce. So again, we're going 7 days a week here next week, so please come by if you didn't get a chance. In the meantime, I wasn't just sitting on my hands. If you know me, I don't do that well. We replaced a lot of new exhibits, added an awesome tugboat exhibit funded by the Bonifiglia Family Foundation, a brand new front desk, and a lot of the exhibits on the second floor focusing on the industry in Seneca Falls. Your loved ones may have worked at those, so please come check us out. I'd love to chat with you about it. Another part about this is, if you're unfamiliar, this is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and we are hosting the 25 and 250 speaker series and in partnership with the Bonifiglia Family Foundation. And with that being said, we are hosting 25 speakers throughout this 250th, 25 and 250, I know. But with that, we are hosting those starting May 9th. This weekend is the Right to Run. So as a way to be a part of that, we're hosting Dr. Norman Dan there to talk about Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Garrett Smith. They're cousins of reform. So with that being said, we'll be hosting these talks throughout the rest of the year. Well, I do realize that the summer is a busy season for all of us, so there'll be a lot more in the fall, concentrated almost weekly, but we will have people coming during Canal Fest, convention days, to talk not only about Seneca Falls history, but the greater Finger Lakes area and what this area and this region means to the United States history. In addition to that, if you're familiar, there's free concerts every Thursday down in People's Park, and the Museum and Tourism Center hosts those. This year, the Bonifiglia Family Foundation has again provided funding for that. We'll be having banners along the canal. These concerts are from 6 to 8 p.m. There's a lot of big bands that come through, but they're all local talent here in the greater Finger Lakes area. So with that, that's from 6 to 8 every Thursday starting on June 4th through the end of August. So in addition to that, we're trying to spur the local economy by having a Summer Thursdays program where you can come and visit our local retail establishments that participate in the program, get a bit of a discount with that, and that's before the concert. So from 4 to 6 p.m. that's available, and then again after the concert from 8 to 10. Again, we will be putting that out on social media, so if you don't already, make sure you follow us on Facebook. There'll be some radio advertisement out there as well. Again, trying to spur the local economy, provide local art and entertainment for our residents here, but also bring visitors in to spend money in downtown Seneca Falls, Sackett Business District, and the greater area. Again, hoping to kind of help a little bit of everybody at that point. And the last thing I'd like to talk to you about just briefly is our Sales and Ales fundraiser. This is a new fundraiser at the Seneca Museum and Tourism Center. And with that, we found that the art festival we hosted last fall, where we had free art activities, don't worry, it'll be back again this year, but that was to celebrate the mural that was the Industry of Tomorrow mural that was put on the back side of our building. If you haven't seen that, it's fantastic. It has several pieces from our collection built into the mural there. But with that being said, it showed us the potential of activating the space along the canal and in the Seneca Falls Harbor. I already noted we're really trying to do our best and put our best foot forward with the free Wi-Fi there. But the boater amenities area also offers electricity, water, pump out station, showers, and laundry for a slight fee there, just for boaters to come in and stay for 2 days up in our community here. And then also, again, helps spur the local economy, gives us a space there. But long story short is we're hosting a fundraiser to try to bring people in. That is an event hosted behind Fall Street Brewing and the parking lot there. It has beer tastings. We'll have live music, local food and drinks. And again, as I said, it all activates the canal, and all the proceeds of this go towards the Museum and Tourism Center to kind of help with all of our activities. So thank you all, and I hope you come by and see us soon.
Thank you. This time, would anyone like to have the privilege of the floor?
Good evening. My name is Michael McCarthy. If you were here last week or here last month, you know that I was discussed in this meeting about me being here. I'd like to address some of the inaccuracies that were brought up in that meeting. First of all, the gentleman from the Waterloo container who spoke last meeting was correct. This board seems to talk without knowing the facts. We were told that the company I work for Nexus, is an accounting firm. It is not. We are a consulting firm. We do accounting trials like this, and we're one of the best around. That's why your auditor, Bonadillo, recommended us. We were told that it was brought up in the meeting that we were 6 months behind when we started. That is not true. The day I started in November of 22, I was here to bring 22 up to code. The first thing I found that I was able to work with was the December 21 bank statements. So you're 11 months behind before I started. The next day at a meeting, the senior accounting clerk quit, which meant that we were 3 or 4 months without an accounting clerk before we found someone to be able to come in and take their place. Once they got up to speed, I have no and have never had any supervisory powers here. I can suggest things, people can come ask my advice, but I am not or do not direct anybody's work. So when I ask people to do things, and they said, no, we think we should do something else, I have no power to object. So things were done in 23 that were done over my objections that caused 23 to be, year 23, to take much longer to fix than it ever would have taken. As studies have shown for this kind of work, it always takes twice as long to fix it as it does to originally put it together. So if it took 12 months to put together, it usually takes 24 months to fix. So we're at 26. The 24 AFR was just accepted. The 25 AFR was open the other day. We're in the middle of key punching the AFR It will be done sometime in the next week, week and a half, to be sent to the state to be reviewed and to have questions asked. Also, there was a article in the Finger Lakes Times, Louisa, you're here. Your research staff is horrible. I am not a major, I am not a health major with a finance thing. I am a BA from Providence College. I'm a couple credits short of my BS in taxes. I've worked as 40 years as an accountant. My last job before joining Pronexus, I was the vice president and controller of Upstate New York Power Company, which owns plants in Dresden and Lansing in this part of the country. I was promoted into that job. All I hear from this board is we need to talk more. I met with everyone on this board. We had 2 separate occasions, and when I left those meetings, I was told, "Well, you did really good." I listened to, or I look at the tape of the April meeting, and that's not what I got from this board. I was never told that they had changed anything. I never told that they talked to anybody else. Basically, I was told that things were going good, and that April would be the time that I was hired or not hired.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Who told you that April you would be hired?
No, I was told it would be brought up at the April meeting. I'm sorry. It was brought up at the April meeting. I was told when I left the meeting of the interviews that no one had an objection about hiring me.
I don't know that anybody could ask that. Lack of communication.
You were in a meeting. They said that when I left, what did you think of him? I don't understand what the lack of communication was. We had in the meeting, we had conversations about where we are, how we got here, and what was going to be needed to make it better.
Well, we also talked to other towns that are having the same trouble with funding.
Unfortunately, I can't talk about anything that's in litigation, but you didn't ask me what my side of that was. First of all, Fayette was in desperate things. They had a board that didn't care. They had an employee who was incompetent. When we started at Fayette, we went in and said, "This is what we think you should do." They said, "No, it costs too much." We said, "This is what it's going to take then to do it." And they were unwilling to do that at the end. So, as everybody talks about communication, none of it's happening. Wednesday night, Wednesday or Thursday, I was in my office. Counselor Cancero came in and threw a piece of paper at me and said, "I don't like this. This tone is, I don't like the tone of this." First of all, like I said, I have no supervisory powers. I did not write the note. We did have a conversation with the town clerk about the NICEAG bills. It was as much communication as I've seen in this building. We sat down, we had an open office discussion about it, and it was handled. So I don't know what that was. And first of all, the counselor did not ever announce who she was, didn't tell me her name, just threw this piece of paper at me. So, like I said, if you're going to start talking about communication and talking about things, you should really live by your word. Second of all, there's been
I think
email.
time's up.
No,
Time-
let me just finish. I'll do it
time's
just finish.
up. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else for further discussion?
Hi. I want to thank you all for letting me come here.
Can you put the mic
Pull your
back
mic.
down?
There you go. What was your name? My name is Denise Hayes. And I want to thank you all for letting me come here and speak tonight. I had written this letter to be read at last month's meeting because I do have health issues, but I wanted to come and read it myself because it was never read last month. So, my daughter and I live at Park Place Apartments in Seneca Falls. And as most of you know, this past winter, we had some snowstorms that impacted driving conditions for all the residents and people driving through Seneca Falls. We are writing this letter to express our gratitude and thanks to the town of Seneca Falls Highway Department. Mr. Jeremy Wentz, the highway superintendent, and all the employees of the highway department. These employees were relentlessly out on the roads plowing and salting to ensure the safety of not just the residents, but also those that had to travel on the roads in Seneca Falls to get to their destinations. There are times when the temperatures were so low, the wind was blowing, and snow was coming down heavily, but that never stopped them from doing their job and keeping the roads clean the best they could. They were even out in what seemed like to some of us in the middle of the night doing the job. I guess we never really acknowledge the dedication these employees had or have. So we'd like to commend, thank, or recognize the Seneca Falls Highway Department and Supervisor Jeremy Wendt for all they do and the pride they show in their work. Thank you so much.
I would like to speak to the Van Cleef Park design. Is this a time for that? Okay. I am Father Brad Benson. I am the priest at Trinity Episcopal Church. I have been the rector of the church for 7.5 years, and I live at 76 Cayuga Street. I pinch myself regularly that I get to live here, and specifically in a historic neighborhood. A quick page from history. The parish of Trinity Church was founded in 1831. That's the same year that the village was incorporated. And the original church still stands across Van Cleef Lake as Trinity Apartments. The present building was built in 1885 and is reputed to be the most photographed building in the region. When you go to the town's website, it is Trinity Church that comes up as one of the symbols of the town. Well, by 1916, almost all of the factories that used the hydraulic power of the river had closed down, so the state, New York State, decided to flood the river basin and create the canal and what we now call Van Cleef Lake. When they did that, the church's basement was seriously flooded. The folklore says that the church complained to the state and that the state responded that the church will just have to move, find another location. Well, the congregation contained all the movers and shakers of the village at the time, and so they refused to take such a drastic action. Somehow, New York State was persuaded to give the church $25,000, with which they built a large extension to the west. I tell this story because it points up two things. First, the Trinity has been revered as a linchpin in the historic neighborhood that surrounds it for 141 years. And second, that governing bodies are capable of making very bad designs which unnecessarily and adversely affect citizens. I'm here tonight representing my congregation, which gave me permission to speak against the park proposal. It plagues us that the council would even consider plunking down a huge parking lot and a swimming pool right in the middle of a historic district. While no one wants to deprive the citizenry of a pool, tennis courts, etc., the irreparable damage to the historic nature of the neighborhood would be truly lamentable. A portion of the plan is to subsume the church's parking lot. I need to remind the council that the church owns the property on which there is now a small parking lot and has no intention of selling it to the town. I have in this folder the current agreement with the town, and it very clearly notes that the town may use the lot. They do not own it. So to summarize, I come representing a congregation and a church that has been at the center of the image of Seneca Falls since 1831, and we are now united in our opposition to this proposal. As the building that almost every visitor photographs, please stop considering having a parking lot and a swimming pool in the background of all those photos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get a copy of this? Sir? Brad, sir.
Do you have a copy of your agreement that we could have for them?
Hello, my name is John Stewart. I live at 24 Cayuga Street. This is my first time speaking, so bear with me. We moved to town about 2 years ago, and since we moved to town, we've really enjoyed it. I think the neighbors have been so welcoming. We had multiple people invite us over for dinner. We've seen so many amazing projects going on between the DRI, the museums. There's just a lot happening, and not all of it I love. Most of it I do love. But one project that really concerned me was the project that's going to be behind our house. I think we have a lot of opportunities to continue pursuing in Seneca Falls to support the local economy and to do historic restorations. And my concerns are this plan, although probably well-intentioned and a great conversation starter because it is a blight back there in some of the areas. I think a lot of the proposals are probably not the most effective use of the town's resources on time. I would also like to share there was a neighbor in town who had told me that when she was a little girl, she remembers going to a wedding that had the most beautiful English garden she'd ever seen. And that was actually much of the area that was then destroyed for parking lots. And I'm concerned that taking even more of the green space away to do more parking is probably not the best use of the resources. And I do love a lot of what they have proposed. I play tennis regularly. I've played tennis in Seneca Falls for 10 to 15 years. The high school has some wonderful courts that are never ever at capacity. And I know we have parking throughout town that is also rarely at capacity. So I would love, and I don't know what stage in the proposal with this plan is at, but I would love for there to be more discussion in engaging maybe some of the business leaders, community leaders, and others in the historic district, because I think we can have a real opportunity to do something really amazing back there. And I just want to make sure we don't rush into anything that we then later get bogged down in. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm Anwei Law, and I'm with the It's Wonderful Life Museum. And our location is 32 Fall Street, right across from Trinity Church. We're in our temporary location now while major reconstruction is happening at 32 Fall Street. It's going to be quite exciting, and it's going to attract a lot of people in a very good way. You know, as our museum, we work to preserve the history of the movie It's a Wonderful Life, and especially the message of It's a Wonderful Life, about the value and equal importance of each individual. We also work to understand better and present the history of Seneca Falls in different ways that are appropriate. And I was looking at all these different buildings on Lower Fall Street, which is clearly one of the most historic districts in town. And I've given you a list of what each of those buildings are and what they've been, you know, the first historical society, the first movie theater. I decided rather than read it all, I was going to give you copies, okay? And also just remind us all about the National Register of Historic Places. And I took this from the Seneca Falls government website that says, being listed as a National Register property is a great honor that provides opportunities for recognition and promotion, as well as being eligible for federal, state, and local economic incentives for rehabilitation. So it's very important that the guidelines for the National Register are followed. And I'd like to say the state of New York has provided $1.5 million to preserve, promote, and expand the It's a Wonderful Life Museum. Now, I don't think they just did that because they like the movie It's a Wonderful Life, though I think they do. It's because of that building. That first building built by Charles Fornesi in 1913. The first Seneca, it's not the first building built by him, but the first theater, the Seneca Theater. And it's such a historic building, and it was in danger. At some point, it could have collapsed. And they saw the value in it, and they have been behind us. And it takes a while, but you'll be seeing major things soon, especially if there's some local assistance. So I wanted to mention that. But the other thing I want to do, and I'm not going to take too much time and more because I know this is the one thing I'm not sure people know about that particular part of town is that just a little bit down from Trinity Church is where Antonio Veracali's body washed ashore and was retrieved. And if you think about it, we think about Antonio Veracali, he's a very important part of this town. He's certainly the soul of the connection with It's Wonderful Life. And if you think about, not just he saved someone and then he gets buried, think about his body washing ashore, not very far from Trinity Church, and how desperate his father was. He was inconsolable for the next 5 years. He just could not resolve it. And when the town board issued a proclamation for Antonio Veracali Day, this is what they said. Seneca Falls was enriched by Mr. Veracali's heroism at the time and continues to benefit from it in the form of pride and appreciation, as well as economically by virtue of the growing tourism attraction generated by this unique connection to It's a Wonderful Life. And I mention him because every person has value and is equally important. But with Antonio Veracali, he deserves our respect. And our respect is looking and remembering the place where his body was retrieved. We should probably do something about that officially so people know that. And remember the impact he's had on this town, as so many people have had on this town. And just keep on respecting them and telling the stories and that make this community what it is. Thank you.
Anyone else? Privilege of the floor?
Hi, my name is Greg Sarah, and I'm going to make this short and sweet. My wife and I moved back here from Florida after living there for 8 years and found a nice home in Seneca Falls, and I have no complaints about Seneca Falls. Jeremy and his highway crew, marvelous this past winter. Chief and your whole department. I do have a complaint about the trash system. So, during the winter, it was more than once, the truck broke down. The driver's sick. 1 week, our garbage on Shamrock Avenue gets picked up on Tuesday. It was Friday. It's okay during the winter because it doesn't get hot enough for it to stink. However, this last Tuesday, when I came home, my wife and I came home, we found my 82-year-old neighbor in our front yard picking up trash. So I went over and said, Tony, what are you doing? He said, well, the trash truck dumped your can, better than half of your can, in your yard. So I thought I'd come over and pick it up for you. Now they pick it up with the hooks. I have no clue how you dump trash with hooks, considering there were 2 small garbage bags in there. That's about all we put out every week. So maybe, I know it's under contract, but maybe the next time the board looks at the contract for trash pickup, they could look at a company that has more than 1 truck and 1 driver and knows how to not dump trash on somebody's lawn. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
What was your name? Sir. She needs your name, please. Anyone else?
My name's Diana Smith. I'm a proud resident of Seneca Falls. I'm the former mayor of the village of Seneca Falls. And I'm also a founding board member of WIL, which is the Women's Institute for Leadership and Learning. And I'm here to briefly discuss 2 items and to make a request. First of all, I just want to say I also bring a message of gratitude. Thank you for all that you do to protect our community, and requires an incredible amount of dedication that I know firsthand. A recurring theme of what we've heard here tonight is how beautiful our community is and how privileged we are to live here. And that's a little bit of what I want to talk about. Mainly, I just want to talk about an opportunity that we don't want to miss. Seneca Falls is an absolute treasure. It was recently named as one of the 10 best historic small towns in the U.S. by USA Today. And we have so much beauty and history here, and we attract not only thousands of visitors, but also, thanks to the National Women's Hall of Fame, just an incredible list of extremely influential people. The President and Senator Clinton were inducted, or Senator Clinton was inducted, Madeleine Albright was inducted into the Hall of Fame, Gloria Steinem, Jane Fonda. There aren't many people who can say that they've been in the midst of individuals like Geraldine Ferraro and Rosalind Carter and Justice Ginsburg, and all of these people have come to Seneca Falls. Why? Because the Hall of Fame is here, and because Seneca Falls is the birthplace of women's rights. Our amazing resources here make us special, but our history as the birthplace of women's rights makes us incredibly unique, completely unique. And it's a claim that no other community can have. And we should not only be embracing that history, but we should be shouting from the rooftops about our distinction as the birthplace of women's rights. It's our community's branding, and we should wear it proudly and use it for all it's worth to set us apart and to draw attention and investment here in Seneca Falls. That branding is currently the single most important tool that we have for economic development, and we're not capitalizing on the fact that we and only we have it. So I'm here tonight to ask the town to think about and even celebrate what it is that we all share here. We all love our community and we want to do what's best for it. And what's best for it is collaboration and a vision for the future, a positive image in the media that's attractive, and we especially need to double down on our branding as the birthplace of women's rights. So there are 2 events that are coming up that we can take advantage of to do this. On May 26th, former Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney is going to be bringing the Golden Eagle / Golden Flyer to Seneca Falls for her 1 million signatures campaign for the ERA. The Golden Eagle, Golden Flyer, is a replica of the 1916 Golden Flyer, which was a gold roadster driven by suffragist Alice Burke and Nell Richardson, who traveled 11,000 miles across 29 states to rally for the ERA, to support women's voting rights. And the modern tour intentionally mirrors that journey. It's the same gold car, it's the same cross-country spirit, to show that the fight for constitutional equality is still unfinished. She's collecting signatures. She'll be here on the 26th, so please save that date and watch for announcements in the local paper and online, and there'll be more information about that to follow. The second event is Convention Days 2026 in Seneca Falls, and that'll take place on July 17, 18, and 19. Adrienne Emo, a fellow board member of Will, and I are not heading up the Convention Days Committee this year, but we are supporting Gabby Casentino and Fran Barberi, who is president of Convention Days, Inc., and helping to coordinate activities. So far, there are lots of things planned. There's a community service award on Friday evening, the 17th. On Saturday, there'll be the traditional march from the Stanton home to the National Park. There will be a brunch that Fran has planned featuring an original Rosie the Riveter, along with activities in People's Park, including live musicians and speakers. Girl Scouts are already asking us about coming for tours, so it looks like we're going to have Girl Scouts again, and we'll be inviting them to participate in what we call the Squawk Box, which is free speech at People's Park. And there's a brunch on Sunday that honors Dr. Sally Roach Wagner, who was a pioneer in the women's rights movement. There's a brunch on Sunday that will honor Dr. Wagner. So we'd like to hire a headliner for the Saturday night so we can have music in the park. And I'm asking if the town board could see fit to allocate some funds to help pay for that headliner, along with some additional advertising and some signage that can help direct people from Fall Street down to People's Park and alert people that Convention Days is taking place. The signage could be used annually, so I consider it an investment in future Convention Days events. So last year, Convention Days was adopted by the town as an official town event. So the purchases could be made directly by the town. And so this is simply a request to allocate the funds and authorize their use for Convention Days 2026. So that's it. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much.
Please watch for information about Convention Days on conventiondays.com. It'll be updated soon.
Thank you. Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Privilege of the floor is closed. Can I have a motion to accept the department report?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to accept all the communications?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I have a motion to accept the Seneca Falls Canal Side Social, June 1st and 27th, and once monthly for October?
Make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion for the Rotary Yard Sale for May 30th, 26th. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a motion for the Seneca Falls Market to run from June through early October. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So as most of you probably saw on the news in lots of different places, Seneca Falls was just awarded the certified bronze for the Climate Smart Communities. All of the achievements that Seneca Falls was documenting were done in years past, like back to 2016. Nothing new has really been done. It was an effort between a bunch of different departments to document the different things that Seneca Falls already did in order to achieve this. And out on the chair there is a 10-page little booklet of all the things that were documented and submitted in order for us to get 2 of these fancy placards that we will display somewhere once we figure out where.
Thank you. And thank you for taking care of that together.
Melissa's done amazing with that. Unfinished business, we have a resolution to approve hiring the town manager.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Do we have any discussion?
I'm choosing to abstain until I hear back from the Fayette people, which I'm not.
I'm voting no.
I'm also voting no. We have a motion.
And
We have
second.
a motion and a second, and all in favor? To approve?
To approve.
To approve the town
it.
manager. We have 2 noes and an abstain. And Dawn?
No.
That would not.
New business, the flats at Van Cleef Lake Park. This is just for discussion. Does anyone have any discussion on it?
I make a motion. Do we have to make a motion to start discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a
I'll
motion.
second.
I do agree that Vince's Park is probably not the most ideal place for the community pool right now. I'm open to seeing like what other plots of land we have in Seneca Falls that might be able to handle this. I do want to point out too, though, that this will provide like more green space and everything. I know we'd be adding a parking lot and all of that, in which we would definitely talk to you guys about your parking lot, and we wouldn't use it. But as of right now, the whole thing is just a black pavement, you know, besides the Muse building. So I do want to see something else put there. I'm open to it not being this, but I think just something needs to be done with that property.
I'm going to add to that. So the idea of having pickleball courts as a growing sport, I think is great, but let's be real. New York is 3 months out of the year at best. So if we're going to look at something, we're going to buy the building for over $1 million. Then we're going to tear it down for $1 million. So before we're even into it, we got millions of dollars wrapped up before we even start a project. So, I mean, it's not a secret. I'm totally for kids and seniors here. Like, the middle people, we're either taking care of our parents or taking care of our kids. Sorry, that's just how it is. So to make more activities for seniors, children, I feel like if we're going to do something, we have, how many acres at Kids Territory? We have 20 acres of space at Kids Territory that is already being used for parks and everything. Why wouldn't we put everything in one spot that is centrally located in Seneca Falls already? And the other thing is, if we're going to do a pool, let's talk to our schools. Let's add a swim team. Like, we got to look bigger. If we want more people to move here, we need to think outside the box. Maybe we need an indoor pool for people to swim in, not something for 2 months out of the year at best, if the weather wants to cooperate with us. And an indoor sports complex where we can host tournaments, and we can have pickleball all year for seniors, kids. We can host basketball tournaments. We can host lacrosse tournaments, bring some revenue into the town, and also bring more tourists into this town that are coming with their kids. I'm guilty. I go everywhere, and we spend lots of money on hotels and food at different places. And who knows, maybe people visiting here will be like, wow, Seneca Falls is such a cute little town. They got great things going on. Maybe we move our family here. Maybe we look to that. And that's how we build our town. Our tax revenue base is housing and supporting our downtown, supporting other businesses and our children right now. So I just think we should look at the property we already have. If we're going to spend $2+ million, and I don't know numbers, so nobody quote me on that. We should put that right into something right away, because we already have the land to do that, instead of just wasting it, tearing it down. That's my thought on it, and I'm very passionate about all that. I did not like the park downtown from day one. I think we should use land we already have. That's all I have to say on it.
Any other comments? Discussion is closed. The next resolution is reorganizing the Seneca Cayuga Canal. Can I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Any discussion?
So this is just a resolution that really is in support of the Cayuga Lake Watershed municipal organization at the Cayuga Lakes Institute. So this is a resolution recognizing the importance of the Cayuga Canal in the Cayuga Lake Watershed.
Aye.
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing an agreement with the Seneca County with Seneca County for flood plain management service. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Just touch on this a little bit. This is going to make sure that instead of our current zoning office, it's going to be the Seneca County zoning office that handles the floodplain administrative management services because they've got 3 people there that are already trained to do so. So, just easier.
And this is being done for other municipalities in the county where they are expecting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a resolution for request for bids for the Baird Street Culvert Maintenance and Rehabilitation Project.
I
Can
make
have
a motion.
please?
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
6 years coming.
We just need to get this done.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution transferring funds for elevator service contract with the Seneca Museum Building. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution for request for open competitive bids for new surveillance service environment.
I make a motion. We get the bid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's for, we're gonna try to, okay, sorry. Can we,
Amend this resolution?
Yeah, which one?
Just gotta read that.
well, we can, we might,
Explain we're kind of listening. It's a public meeting. We should probably talk a little louder.
so we currently have a contract for the surveillance, and we think instead of we can piggyback off our existing
There's a piggybacking contract through different counties that we could use to get.
this surveillance, so we don't have to put it out to bid again, because it's already in effect. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
So we want to,
Okay, if that's what you're gonna do, you need a lot more specific. Taking, so piggyback means you're using somebody else's contract, normally, going through the bidding process. People know what they do, but you really need like a purpose, like to buy.
We have that. Not,
so they should
do
do
that.
so table it?
That's the concern, is that there's raising costs and all of that stuff.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna table.
So we're going to make an amendment to table this.
Don't we have to like technically make a motion to table it?
Yes. What do you think?
I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a resolution, town to partner with the state parks on Morehouse project. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any
Yeah, it's kind of just,
discussion?
Emil Bovey came in and talked to us about this a little while ago, in the SFPC at least. They're taking really great interest in trying to do anything they can to preserve the old Morehouse Boat Factory down by the Cube Lake State Park. So this is like a good step because they themselves weren't like a technical like 503B, so they couldn't be the willing partner. So we're kind of just stepping up to be that partner with this. Just a little background.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a resolution authorizing attending annual 2026 NYS AMCC conference and training.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
And that's for the clerk's office. Any discussion? It is a budgeted item. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I have a resolution prohibit use of town equipment, personal, and supplies from the work of contracts and privileged individuals. Can I have a motion, please?
A motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
The only thing that might have to be added is like it's because right now it says it's up to the town. I think it should be up to whoever is head of the water department.
Yeah, I
And
wrote
like
like
that.
Lewis's discretion.
So like instead of like the town may authorize, it's like yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for that.
This will be able to, thank you, to cover everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you say not to do it?
No, because
Well,
we
I
have-
would not do whatever you say.
We would not like add in the line that says
Okay,
Louis
perfect.
Arc, yeah.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page.
Thank you, Pete. I have a resolution authorizing purchase of a Ford F-250 pickup truck for Parks and Rec.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Any discussion?
My one question that I wasn't really able to find out. What appropriated reserve count is it coming from? Like what's the line in the budget? If anyone can answer that. Yeah, same with the other. Because that's like the fund it's going to. But we just, you know, I don't know where.
Did you guys end up looking into the difference with police and
We did, but however, I do have some old pieces that we started off with that. I think the police cost at that time, police cost is anywhere from used to $12,000. You guys take the wide margin of that. We had COVID to buy the pickup truck off the old truck contract. At least $10,000. Heard that installed a few years later, and more money was paid for, and that the cost of itself and the cost of the energy, I highly recommend it to the using it.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing purchase of a Ford F-250 pickup for DPW, buildings and grounds, and transfer funds to cover the cost.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Why is yours $1,000 more? Just out of curiosity.
There were two different trucks that had on the lot.
Uh-huh. Okay, I was just curious. It was fun.
It's full of, they had two trucks.
All right.
OGS trucks. they're both pre-bid.
Minority bid, big,
All right.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, we're not.
Okay, this one we're pulling. I have a resolution to appoint alternate member to the zoning board of appeals.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Any discussion?
Do we say who it is?
Mr. Linderman? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're not doing that.
So can we table it? Like, make a motion to table it?
Moved and seconded,
Table.
it's not on the table.
So we don't have to do anything with it. I have a resolution establishment of stormwater and water and wastewater compliance committee. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion? Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
On that committee will be, I don't know, two board members, yeah.
2 board members, 2 sewer and water department employees, and 4 members of the public. Take that.
We have a resolution to establish finance and accounting committees and town clerk office committees. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion. Second.
Any
You want me to vote?
discussion? On these committees, the finance and accounting committee will be Jackson Clara as chair, Don Dyson as a member, town clerk's office committee, Wendy Frame chair, and Gabby Cosentino member. All in favor?
Aye.
The resolution to authorize budget transfer for tax collection, education expenses, authorize attendance at the tax training seminar. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion.
Any discussion?
Just drop this one off the floor, right?
No.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution authorizing allocating funds for unassigned fund balance for purchasing records retention safes. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Any discussion?
I have a question for Melissa. How many of these, like, you're just like showing the prices, right? And
Yes.
comparing. So
Yes.
we need 1 or 2?
If it's indicated that there would be 2 needed, that's the cubic feet that we currently have, or it exceeds it by a little bit for expansion.
Okay.
People always packing away, always being born, and
Yeah, I feel passionately that we need new safes because if there was an accident, if there was a fire in this building, we would lose all of the records. That'd be bad.
And they also need the lock.
Yeah.
And ours right now do not lock. So, that's why we're buying them.
That's why we're getting new ones.
All in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
I have a resolution authorizing highway superintendent to hire seasonal laborers for the cemetery and maintenance. Can I have a motion, please?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Julie, for doing this. Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing the highway to hire, I'm sorry. We have a resolution to hire an MEO light for the highway department. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution authorizing purchase garbage totes. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make
A
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry. I have a resolution authorizing the allocation of additional funds for rock salt expenditures.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Or no, we're not buying more rock salt. This is just to pay off the one we already have.
Yes.
Okay, I'm good with it then. We don't need any more right now, I don't think.
All in
No.
favor?
Fingers crossed.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I have a resolution, purchase service credit for employees. Can I have a motion for that, please?
Motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session, to discuss the history of a particular person of the corporation and related to an appointment, promotion, demotion, discrimination, or removal. And I'd like to invite the town manager, attorney, and Jeff Trout. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all
Thank
for
you all
coming.
for coming.
Thank you.
All right, hold on. Don't talk yet, anybody. I learned this last time. I gotta figure out where the thinking button is.